Hello, folks. Hello and welcome. It is not actually the live podcast, although we are on the same day and the same time as normal. This is kind of just a special live stream, a little bit ad hoc. I'll say right off the bat, the actual podcast will be at 8 o'clock tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern tonight, and we will have Mike Cobb from Kaleidescape, one of the technical guys at Kaleidescape, coming on for a talk all about the Strato K and the new movie formats and stuff that it enables within the Kaleidescape ecosystem for the home. So Mike Cobb at 8 o'clock this evening Eastern time. But for the next, I don't even know, maybe hour, probably not, at least an hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe. Definitely got to cut off at around 2 hours. We'll see how far we can get. I have the new Strato K devices in hand finally, and I did this I think 2 years ago when the Strato V came out. We did a kind of live unbox, setup, first look, first take experiment, live stream basically. And I figured it'd be fun to do that as well. So um, tonight's podcast will also be, it'll be more structured, going through uh, set of conversations, dialogue and whatnot, all about the new Kaleidescape stuff with Mike. This is much more unstructured. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it works. Hello to Julia. Somebody pop a message in the comments as well. Let me know, are you hearing me okay? I'm trying to do, rather than, I usually podcast and go live with the MacBook microphone, but I'm going to be moving around and stuff in here a bit. We're downstairs in the rack room. I want to make sure that I'm coming through okay. Everybody can hear me all right. Agent to put, we got some of the regular friends popping in. So yeah, so my vision for this stream is that we're going to hang out. We're going to set this thing up. We'll go through some of the technicalities. I'm going to show as much as I can on screen. I'd really love to be able to show the configuration, the menuing, stuff like that, and we'll see how it goes. If this is an utter failure, hey, maybe we have just some fun hanging out, talking home theater. If anybody has questions, comments, and whatnot about this player, about Kaleidescape, about anything, about what's going on in home theater, I'll pay attention to the chat and whatnot as we go, and we'll kind of talk this through. So my mind is frazzled. I'm pulled in 100 directions right now. I drove 3 hours back from the very west tip, straight west, Grand Haven, Michigan, all the way across here to the southeast side. Today we were away with the family, all the immediate family, and my parents came as well for a soccer in the sand tournament. My daughter's done this. We were trying to figure it out exactly. I think it's been several years. They have this beach soccer series. They play it all over the country, all kinds of different states and whatnot. But as I say, kids, like little kids, all the way up to adult brackets and groups and whatnot. Yeah, they have court set up. It's like 5v5 soccer in the sand, soccer on the beach. So man, we had amazing weather. It was like mid 70 degrees, sunny the whole weekend. At least for most of the time that mattered for the games and whatnot. We got rained on a little bit last night. We were out for a walk down to the Grand Haven pier where the lighthouse and stuff is in the rain, but we had fun doing it nonetheless. We didn't get that wet, but it was a really good weekend. The daughter's team played awesome. They crushed their first two games, and then they made it to the finals. They got beat, but they were playing a superior force, like 16, 17-year-old girls playing in the finals, playing like 22, 23-year-old girls, because of the way that brackets and stuff went up. But they played them. They almost won. They almost really won. 6-5 in one of the games versus that team, and then 5-1 in the second one. So we enjoyed some soccer. We enjoyed some ice cream. Some good food out, some good time with the family. Just love that cool breeze coming off the water. I really need to move to a coast or a beach or something, somewhere, sometime in my life. And so the whole time that this has been transpiring, that we were gone, I've been waiting for these things to come. FedEx, utter dismal failure of FedEx. We started orders. They actually had five of them coming in a pack, and they were supposed to come on Thursday, was the original estimated delivery date. So okay, I'm thinking, great, I'll take Thursday afternoon off from the day job and try to do what I'm doing right now. I wanted to do it back last Thursday. Stuff never came, delayed, coming Friday. Okay, well, we're supposed to leave Friday. We were supposed to drive out around like 1 o'clock. So I'm like, well, what can we do? Well, we were going to take two cars anyway. So it's like, all right, my wife, kids, my mom, you guys go ahead, get checked into the place, get everything set up, and then my dad and I will follow after we wait for the boxes to come. Because not only did I want to still try to do this stream, thinking maybe I'll get this in Friday afternoon, and then we will drive out. But man, it's like $25,000 worth of Kaleidescapes being delivered, right? Five boxes. These are $5,000 a piece players. I'm not having that porch picked. Like this needs to be managed. The stuff needs to be reshipped. Two of these were for me. Three of them were going to other people. And so we're waiting. We were running a little bit late anyway, leaving. And then finally, I got the note at like right around 3 o'clock from FedEx. Hey, your stuff isn't coming today. It'll come tomorrow. Like, okay, great. So then I'm like, all right, I already have my sister-in-law coming to take care of our cat, but she's coming at a certain time. And she just had some life stuff going on, happy life things, but like didn't want to ask her or rely on her to do the reshipping and moving heavy boxes and stuff around. She couldn't do it anyway. Waiting Saturday, I'm watching my cameras, I'm watching the tracking. This stuff didn't come until almost 7 p.m., 6:30, 7 p.m. on Saturday. So anyway, a best friend of mine happened to be driving, or they happened to be right in town here, so they stuff was sitting on the porch. They brought it in, so it was safe and secured, and sitting here until we got home here today. So we would have stayed later if not for this wanting to get online with this stuff and talk about it and everything. And so family kind of graciously, nobody nobody complained too heads like, yeah, we can't stay Monday, we can't hang out longer, got to get this stuff done. We got the show at 8. I want to make sure I have some hands-on time before the show. I want to get this stream in. I got to get people's stuff shipped out. I didn't want to come back Monday and then ship people's stuff on Tuesday. So if anybody wonders how dedicated I am to this stuff, how dedicated I am to the business and trying to serve everybody's needs and get stuff taken care of, I really do the best here that I can. So we got back. We got back right at 3. Actually, that was my goal, to be home at 3. We got home at like 3:05, even with a little bit of stopping. Stopped for some stop for a treat. Did a little bit of shopping before we left and whatnot. So my son and I, we already opened one of them. Both boxes are open, but we filmed a 15-minute, like what will be an edited unboxing, first look, hot take of the Kaleidescape Strato K with one of them, and then now I have the other one here cut open as well. So let's dig into this thing. I am super excited for this. I was trying to, I couldn't keep up with all the conversation over the weekend. Obviously, I didn't want to. I wanted to focus on the family, the kids' activities, and whatnot, and try to be a little bit less on my laptop, on my phone, or whatever through the weekend. And but I have seen some multiple takes where folks have gotten this and they've been able to dive into the 4K cinematic content and get a look at it. And while I think a lot of the consensus that I'm reading seems to indicate that it's better. Some in some ways it's subtle, in some ways depending on the scene, the image, the motion, etc. But I have not seen anybody yet say that it makes no difference. Objectively, this is now the highest quality format that we can watch at home for movies, in our home theaters, in our entertainment systems, and it seems that it is also delivering subjectively. I didn't expect it to be some crazy, like, is it 10 times better type thing, but I'm consistently seeing that folks are appreciating the quality difference, the presentation, the look, the feel of watching the 4K cinematic content. And so I'm great to see that. I'm curious to figure out what my own take is going to be. But again, the take seems to be positive, and the take also seems to be that once you have it, you're not going back. You're all in. You're all in, kind of going forward using this. So, all right, let's hit some of these comments, and we'll get one of these guys out and take a look at it. Julius, okay, here you find perfect, great. I was hoping that this would work on the laptop. If this sounds better than the regular podcast sound as well, I probably could start using this for the podcast every week too, instead of the MacBook microphone. But in any case, yep, Wallace. So yeah, yours is out. My wife ran them, and I'm all flustered trying to take care of so many things. Sweating hot. It's so hot outside today. All the driving, got out of the car after a 3 hour drive. But yeah, they're on the way. FedEx, yeah, FedEx doing its thing. Joe, hey, welcome, my friend. Here you find perfect. All right. The dedication of the shipping department. And I was trying to do everything I could to be like, oh, It's like everybody we know, like our neighbors are gone. Both two sets of neighbors that we could ask to like come over, and like I could hire the neighbor's kid who's about the age of my son. It's like he maybe he could do the labels, and UPS is right in town, 2 blocks away. They could drop the stuff off. Like, no, they're all gone. They're on vacation. They're on vacation. Friends of ours, they're overseas. Other friends, like everybody's, it's middle of June, end of June, everybody's off doing things. So sister-in-law just had a new little one, so I can't be asking her to be lugging boxes, slinging boxes and stuff. Um, so doing everything I can, everything I can there. You little fricker, yo, lots of FUD on the 4KC 444. FOMO says it's a waste of time. Yeah, so I'm gonna disagree with that. Well, based on on folks that I've seeing this, we'll see. Um, Most of the content as well. This is one of the things that we want to look at, and I want to talk with Mike about later tonight. Is talk about the formats, because the starting with the native chroma makes a difference, but that's not the chroma isn't the whole story. The higher, like we're talking about 50% higher uh, file sizes and much significantly improved bit rates that are is what I'm reading is a lot of the difference and whatnot. And so, like listening to my calibrator friends talking about this as well, starting with the native chroma, regardless of what happens through the chain, starting with the better source, and then we've got again the much higher bit rates on top of it. Omar Martinez just got my tracking number for the Strato K player. Hey, you didn't buy it from me. Should have bought it from me, man. I bent over backwards for you. Supernova more. I'm concerned, more concerned with the visual difference. The unboxing is kind of pointless. Yeah, it looks like the V. It's a little bit different, but again, like this is always a new thing for folks, right? So, yeah, you might have seen the V unboxing 2 years ago, but other folks have not. There's always new people coming into the hobby and whatnot. But I'm going to try to get moving quickly here, get it connected, and then we can. And I've downloaded some content already. I did it the other day. I don't even remember. I have to remember what movies I actually downloaded. But I have some stuff ready to go to try to look at and comment on. We'll see if we can get that far in this stream. Foxon, will you show a demo comparison between 4K and give your point of view? Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely intend to talk about it. How to be able to capture that either on this stream or in an edited video, we'll see, because we're talking about commercial movies. I can't play them. I get that wouldn't work on YouTube. So yeah, so we'll see there. Joe, I was watching a podcast today, and they were saying there's 8K content going to be coming soon to the store, like actual movies. We'll see. But if that starts being a thing, buckle up. Yeah, we'll see. And I'm really curious too, like what's really going to be better, like 8K or just is the 4KC going to be actually the preferable way to go? Would give me an excuse to go JVC 8K and upgrade my Mad VR. Yep, that's another thing I've been wondering about, because I've got the Mark II. Probably can't see it there. Mark II NV Extreme that does not have an HDMI 2.1 capture on it. So 4K 444 60 won't go through that. 4K 444 24 will. So it will pass the movies and everything. And I think there's like 2 movies in the Kaleidescape store that are 4K 60 FPS. And I don't even know if they're in 4K cinematic actually. Oh, Julius, no, the sound isn't better than your regular mic. It's a little softer, but it's fine. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, Epson L's 1200 is 444. Yeah, yeah. The items, like the devices can take these inputs, and most of the stuff that's in the store right now anyway is 4K cinematic Dolby Vision. And as I understand it, 4K cinematic Dolby Vision is always going to be 422. But there are going to do 4K. There is 4K cinematic SDR, which can be 444. And then actually, they weren't going to do HDR10 4K cinematic, but I believe now they are. There's been kind of a pivot. I want to talk with Mike about that this afternoon. Yeah, man, imagine what the 8K files will be. Yeah, that's going to take some space. 4K cinematic is already 50% larger, as we showed in the prior streams, than regular 4K. All right, I'm going to try to do this. I'm just going to hold stuff up here. Already cut the boxes open and whatnot. So coming out of the box here, right, got our regular kind of brown cardboard shipper box, which we're used to from Kaleidescape. It's not a printed box. It's not something that you would find on a retail shelf, like an Apple device or something like that, but it is still well protected. That's the most important thing. As it arrives, and we have our cloth bags. They usually use cloth bags for all of this. And so here we go, the main event. Black anodized aluminum, glass front, light up, Kaleidescape company name and logo, lights up, as well as like kind of a new LED array. I think there's like blue square, square boxes that light up along the top strip and the bottom, I think. But we're in the same back to the same form factor that like the Strato C and the Strato V used, not the mini form factor chassis that the Strato E and M and the mini SSD server are using. I like this form factor. I do like this form factor a little better. Feels a little more premium, a little more hefty and whatnot. I like the light up front and all that stuff a little bit better as well. Just when I am in the room, it looks cooler in the rack. Just the way it is. But the other stuff is fine as well. My E's are already gone, so this little 1U spot here is empty and waiting for both of these guys to go in. Those went pretty quick. Shipped them last week to somebody. And I've obviously there's been a ton of interest in this thing. So I'll mention again, if anybody's shopping for it, get in touch, Jeremy at techthusiasm.net. Go through the webpage, www.techthusiasm.com. And I've also been trying to help folks out as well. There's a lot of people that have E's and C's and V's and other players that want to get this because the story of this whole thing, right, is that this is the unit. This is the apex, the pinnacle of home theater entertainment right now. This is the apex unit of the Kaleidescape Strato lineup. It is the only unit capable of playing 4K cinematic format content, and then of course 8K content as well. So I've been trying to match people up, like folks that have the other players and want to upgrade to this, and there's always plenty of people looking to still get into the platform. And this is 5K MSRP. The Strato E remains at 3K. The Strato V remains at 4K. So there are some options, right? Some people can get in at 3K or less. Some people want to be able to spend the 5K, and it just depends. So I have been helping connect some folks. I was doing it over the weekend. Like, hey, I know that you're looking for this, and I know this person has it, and they're looking to upgrade to a K. So I'm going to connect you guys, and I'll help transact in between. And so I was doing some of that for folks, again, above and beyond, trying to go above and beyond, helping people out with this whole thing. So let's take a look along what we have here, starting from this side. Left or right is all relative. Let's start from this side. We have an IR port. If you have a wired IR connection for control, that's there. And then a like grounding screw terminal also. We have the power adapter connection right here. We have our RJ45 Ethernet port. That is a 1 gig Ethernet port. I will say, I wish this was a 2.5G Ethernet port on new devices, especially devices that are like capable of taking advantage of faster network speeds for certain reasons. And just I have a whole 2.5G network available here now, and I think a lot of us tech enthusiasts probably are increasingly have access to 2.5G speeds within our home networks and even within our external internet service providers and stuff. So kind of a bummer that it's not. I don't know why it's not. Hey, maybe I'll ask Mike that question later this evening. But it is a 1G port. We have a single HDMI. They did not opt to do the dual HDMIs. That might have actually been a little bit useful had it been dual HDMI. So we would have had an HDMI like 8K 2.1 capable port, which could be video and audio, but then an audio only one as well, because especially with newer video formats, maybe you need to bypass preamps or AVRs or whatever it may be. But such as it is, we have one port. This is an HDMI right here. Watch where my fingers going. Everything's backwards, like double backwards for me right now. And again, I'm all hyped up from a long weekend and little sleep and lots of stuff and a lot of long drive. So HDMI 2.1, this according to the spec sheet, this port caps out at 24 gig per second. It doesn't do the full 48, but 24 gig per second takes care of anything that the 4K cinematic format would need, and it is capable of 8K at 420 chroma. We have a USB-A port, as we have on every Strato unit. If you want to do that sweet disc to digital stuff, you can plug in your external Blu-ray drive and run your discs through. It'll go into cataloging mode, identify them, and get your digital offer for buying movies in the Kaleidescape platform. Depending on the studio, hopefully as inexpensive as $4.92. And I will confirm and say right up front too that the 4K cinematic format costs no extra money in the ecosystem. If you have existing 4K titles and the 4K cinematic version of that movie comes out, you own it. Not a dime extra. The prices have not gone up for 4K content because of the 4K cinematic format, and the digital offers and the disc to digital as well are all the same. $4.92, best case scenario, to go from a physical disc to a 4K cinematic copy, same as it was to get the regular 4K before. No extra charge for that. So not only are you getting equivalent quality now, in order to, when you do disc to digital off of a disc, you're getting superior quality. And then we have a couple of audio ports. There is an optical and a coaxial audio. Kind of, I don't know. I wonder why they did these and they didn't do the second HDMI audio, because really, what do we want? Right? We want Dolby Atmos, DTSX, lossless audio in probably 99% of situations with this device. So intriguing that they maintained some legacy audio connections, but whatever, they're there. I won't use them. I think most folks will not as well. We're going all HDMI, and we want that lossless audio. We have some kind of sticky-ish, or like rubberized, I guess I should say. They're not sticky. Rubberized feet that are part of the unit itself. So if you put this on a shelf or a flat surface, it will it'll stay in place nice. And of course, we have the rack kit. There is a wall mount rack option. You can put this up on a wall. I think I actually have one of the wall kits. I never did. I bought it because I thought I might use it upstairs, but I never did. And then there's the 1U rack kit that fits the C, the V, the K, and the compact Terra servers, either one in the middle or two side by side of any of those units. Thankfully, I never sold. When I had my two, I forget what my progression was. I had some C's, I had some V's. I just took out the E's. The E's have a different rack kit than these units do, but I didn't sell the rack kit that I was using before. I think I had the V and a compact Terra in that rack kit, and I just held on to it. Now I'm going to use it again. So my two V's will be side, or I get the letters mixed up. My two K's will be side by side in that rack kit. But there it is, looking sharp, looking nice in my opinion. Okay, let's go through the rest of the stuff in the box. Excuse me. A little documentation, some QR codes to get to the app. And I should mention, there are existing videos on the channel. You want to learn about disc to digital, how it works, all about it, I've got the video. You want to look at a review of the app, what it's about, how it works, what it looks like, there's a video for that. I cover this platform, left to right, top to bottom, nuts to bolts. So QR codes to get the stuff there. And then in our box, we have a Ethernet cable. This is a 10-foot Cat 6A, black Ethernet cable, 10-foot Cat 6A. We have our power supply brick. There is a power brick for this, and we're looking at 12-volt DC, 5-amp isolated ground power brick that connects with the permanently attached cable that connects to the back of the K. We have our power cord side with our that connects to the brick, and then we have a 3-prong. You can see that 3-prong connector going into the wall. I will use the power brick. Actually, I will not use these Ethernet cables. I have my own already in the rack, ready to plug in. I will not use this power cord side. I have like length specific cords already in the rack to plug in what we need to get to. Man, I hope my voice holds up today. I hope my throat and my voice hold up today with all the talking that I'm going to be doing. Definitely need a break in between. And then we have a new, curious, I didn't look this up. I should have before the stream. We have an AudioQuest Jupiter 48 Gbps HDMI 2.1 capable, 4K, 8K. They even say 10K. Yeah. 8-foot UL in-wall rated, ultra certified cable, ultra high speed AudioQuest. That is not, I believe, an inexpensive cable. If somebody wants to look that up, what is a 10-foot or 8-foot AudioQuest Jupiter 48 go for? That is in the box. So if you don't have HDMI 2.1 cables already in your system to wire in one of these bad boys, you are set. Again, everything you need, ideally, in the box, cabling-wise, power, HDMI, and Ethernet. The only thing that I need out of the box is the power brick, because I already have my existing cables in the rack back there. I have my long-standing Infinite HDMI 2.1s that I've still been using for like 6 or 10-foot connections. And then I have my RUI Pro pure fiber that goes up to the living room. So we're going to put one of these players will play to my living room. direct to the TCL QM9K. And then, of course, one of these will go to the theater. So the video chain that we're talking here is Strato K for the theater, Strato K to the MadVR NV Extreme Mark II, through the Trinoff Altitude CI, onward to the JVC NZ900 with Panamorph lens attached as well. And it should be able to do everything that we need it to do. And we'll look at some of these video capabilities and stuff as we go. Let's hit some comments here. Justin Morgan, does the K Coke? Not sure what that means. If you maybe typo, you want to resend that, feel free if I see it coming up further. Joe is just going to say the K feels more premium than my E. Happy to see that. Yep. They're two different chassis. I wouldn't buy when there was a choice between like the E and the V. Do you pay more money just for the chassis? No, but I'm buying this model because you want access to the higher quality formats, and it's nice that it comes in the more premium chassis as well. Foxhound 11, love to see your intake on the 4K cinematic. Your take on the 4K cinematic. Let us know if you can tell any difference. I'm hoping to get to that in the stream. MadVR Labs sent an email yesterday about the K. Yep, they have a it's probably published already. They have their various install guides for the MadVR, and there's a specific Kaleidescape install guide that they updated with a bunch of questions about the Strato K. Hello. Complete loss only until they release their K Mini, or the H. Yeah, well, hey, there's always going to be something else, right? Just a matter of what it's going to be, and when. That's what technology means. Supernova More 6175. I was going to send my E back because I opened it, but I'm buying a new Apple TV this fall. Not willing to give up my physical media just yet. Yeah, Apple just raised their prices as well. I think the Apple TV is $250 now, something like that. Thought I saw that hit like late last week or over the weekend. A bunch of MacBook prices went up. Like a bunch of Apple things got more expensive, kind of across the board. And the Xbox too. Xbox kind of price increased as well, up to like the PlayStation levels. But hey, Supernova, if you want a K, let me know. I can get you set up. I'll be patient. The next upgrade. Oh yeah, I mean, I wouldn't wait. I wouldn't wait for a new Kaleidescape just for 2.5G internet. Not when you have access to 4K cinematic format right now. Strin, it seems you don't need a MadVR NV yet, unless you want 8K. Correct. So I won't be able to in the home theater chain right now. I don't think I will be able to do the 4K. There's one little 4K demo item. It's like 6 minutes long. It's free download. That's there. I'm going to focus on the 4K cinematic stuff, and then we'll figure out the 8K. I will probably pursue something. I will pursue something at some point to be able to get an 8K signal through the MadVR to the projector and all that, either by virtue of, I think there's an option to like change the input card on the Mark II to the HDMI 2.1 input card. Maybe just go to the Mark III, or we'll see what happens. I need to debate that a little bit, talk to some folks, and see. I was talking with MadVR a little bit about this as well. So, and I'd be surprised if we even see 8K movies this year, without a faster Ethernet port. Take a while down. Well, I mean, most people. That again, the 2.5G port only really matters if you have a faster download Ethernet connection as well. And then if you have a Terra Prime server that has the 2.5G port, so there's other ways. There's other ways also to kind of work around that. I heard it now comes with an AudioQuest HDMI cable too. Yep, that's the one we were talking about. Jupiter 8. Justin Morgan. Okay, yeah, this is the question that got broken. Sorry. Yeah, sorry as to whether it comes with a remote. So it does not. No Strato players for some time now come with a remote. Actually, the other one, I don't see it. There was, oh, here it is. There's a little card in the box. There you go. Kaleidescape remote control sold separately. So for quick setup, remote control and movie store access, download the free Kaleidescape mobile app, and there's your QR codes for iOS or whatever iPad. It's available on iPad as well. But Apple ecosystem, it actually works on the Mac. There's a Mac app version of it too, App Store version of it too, as well as Android. I know a lot of people that just use the app control, but the remote remains an accessory as it is through all the Strato lineup, $49 MSRP accessory. Joe, I just feel better upgrading my Mad VR, so I have the HDMI 2.1 all the way through. My Core Mark 1 input, yeah, it's the only HDMI 2.0 thing left in my system. Yeah, I agree. I think I'll probably be doing this. Fox Sound, love to see her and take a new 4K submitters. Let us know. Yeah. All right. So let me get some install started. I'm kind of on my own. I might call my son down if I need him. Just trying to think. Again, what is my process going to be to accomplish this task as I try to. You always mess up when you're typing in front of everybody, right? So we'll see how this goes. I even wrote up my little cards in the boxes. So this unit is the one that we're going to set up for the theater, and we'll get to see some of this stuff as well. Hopefully, we can get all this shown live, like the pairing, the grouping process, how that stuff goes. So I need to get the rack kit. First things first, we're going to get both of these dudes, both these fine specimens, sitting in the rack kit, and then we can slide that rack kit right into the rack where it goes. Let me pull this out. So this is the rack kit for the Strato, the larger Strato units. It's basically one big bracket here that holds them in the front. You can stick them out, or you can put them nice and flush. So you have some options there. Again, we're gonna do side by side. You can also do one in the middle. So we'll be using this, and we'll get both items. I need more table space. We'll get both items secured, and then you get two face plates with it. So here's the face plate that you would use for a single unit in the center. All right, and then the one that we actually will be using, I will be using, is the double. So two openings in the face plate. So we put the units in there. This just kind of sets over the front of them, and then we screw it into the rack, and that holds it all in and down. You do get rack screws included with the rack kit as well if you need them. I will not use these. If you notice a trend, a theme in the way I do stuff, I like to manage everything separately. So I have my own screws, and I'm so OCD that every screw in my rack is the same screw. The Snap, whatever, the Snap Strong brand screws I use. I bought a big old bucket of them, and I use them for everything. So it's all uniform and looks nice. Okay, so let's put this away. Glad I did not sell this. The rack kits are about $195 MSRP, but since I had it, I didn't need to rebuy it for myself. So I'm gonna toss this to the side, up there. And let me see if I can get a, that's the rack, not the Strato. All right, let's see if I can get down on the table here a little bit. Oh yeah, that's good. I need to use the laptop camera. Okay, so this is the theater. So we're going to be looking this way at the rack. So the left is the living rooms. My convention is always left is the higher room, right is the lower room of the house. So living room and theater. And but we have to flip this over, and the Stratos have to be flipped over as well. And again, this is the theater one. So this one is going to be the one that slots here. And these, you can kind of see a bit how they line up, just like roughly so. Let me get the other one out of the box. Set this faceplate down. I already have this guy taken out because this is the one that we filmed earlier. This is the living room unit on the left. Let me double check. Left upper living room. Okay. Measure twice, cut once, right? Okay. So the thing we need to do first is we need to take out the screws. We got to remember actually the spacing of all of this. Oh yeah, it's the center. So there's 1, 2, 3 screws per unit. These screws don't come with the rack. They come already pre-screwed in to the Strato units. So these are here. So you got to take these out. Now we'll basically lay it out, align it up, and then screw them back in, of course, through the rack kit. And there's like, these are beveled. I think that's the right word. They have kind of like little angled heads to them, so they sit nice and flush in the or through the rack kit. And you don't have to take the feet off. These do not peel off or anything. They just exist, which is nice. I always hate devices putting devices in racks when like you have to take the feet on and off, because then if you're putting it in the rack or taking it out of the rack, you got to take it out and then you try to set it down. Now there's no feet. It's hard to grab it. I like it when you can just kind of leave everything together. So if you notice here, yeah. So I don't want mine sticking out. I keep them flush. So I'm going to there's four screw positions. So that's like kind of sticking way out. That's sticking less out. This is close, and then this one is completely flush. Actually, I think I'm going to go to the third one. That's the one we want, because then they actually want them at least kind of clearly in the space of the thing there. So we key off of that screw. That one's lined up. We got to push this one back. Just kind of get them both, roughly in the area. I guess I should probably just screw one in, and then I'll set the sizing and positions. If I'm wrong, we'll have to just unscrew them all and we'll move them back to the final position. But I'm pretty sure this is the one I've used in the past. So get these screws started. Yeah, and if anybody has comments, questions, and stuff, hit them as you go, or pop them in as you go. The hardware setup should not take us very long. Get this installed, get it powered up. Oh, I should mention, excuse me. I should mention as well, like KOS versions and stuff. I don't think I mentioned that in the edited video that we did, that we filmed earlier. But yes, this will be running the latest version of KOS 26, KOS version 26. Technically, I think it's running like 26.0.1. Which is the next big update for KOS. There's a couple of quality of life improvements and whatnot in this update. There are some other visual fidelity improvements, some bug fixes, stuff like that. Always 26 KOS 26 is rolling out to the entirety of the platform, not just for the Strato K, but rolling out to everything as we speak. I think ultimately. But I believe the way it was supposed to work is the Ks come pre-installed with 26, and when they get grouped with the Terra server, of course, I have the 48 terabyte Terra server there, that will trigger the system to fully update cohesively to KOS 26. And I also I understand that there is a 26.1 hotfix on its way. Of course, every new device, right, ships with a certain firmware nowadays, and then when it lands, you usually often see a hot fix, a first kind of bug fix right out of the gate, and that is pending. I want to say I saw a message on the Kscape owners forum that 26.1 would actually deploy next week. Today is Monday. Yeah, today is Monday, and the 4th of July holiday is Friday. So because of the 4th of July holiday or whatnot, I believe 26.1 hotfix is coming next week. Okay, so we're in, nice and locked in solid there. And so if I pick this up and try to take a look a bit here, I grabbed this faceplate, put it over the top. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so these are sticking out a little bit. Yeah, do I like that, or do I want them to be more flush? I guess I made the wrong call. I thought that this. No, I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. Thing is, once it goes in, I'm not changing it. So I'm not changing it till the K2 comes out. I don't know. What do you think, folks? You like it sticking out a little bit? I don't like it sticking out a lot. I think I might prefer the flush, the fully flush. Oh, here, let me see here. Joe says, I noticed the rack kit instructions say the position where it is not flush is recommended. I wonder why. I also think it looks nicer flush. Yeah, and I wouldn't see why it would matter. It's not like it's, it's fully protected. If you look at how much is covered by the shelf, these are not falling off the back. All right, I'm gonna go flush. I'm a flush kind of guy. So bear with me while I unscrew this, shift them back slightly, and screw them back in. Again, I don't want to do this later. Once it's in, wired up, connected. And I want to watch the movies. Super Mario Galaxy. That's what I want to see first. And I did see a note amongst the takes that I read. I think it was Moana. There was a comment about Moana that Moana looked stunning in 4K cinematic. I think animation, that higher bit rate, those bigger file sizes, and all that should can benefit the animation. So amongst the new movies from this year that I did not get to the theater to see that are available to watch right now, Super Mario Galaxy is the one I'm most personally excited about. So I haven't bought it yet, though. I need to buy it. Still holding out for a flash sale. Instead of paying the full $30, I would love to be able to see a $14.99 flash sale, and grab it then. But it hasn't happened yet, at least that I've seen, that I've been able to track or notice in the store. But of course, I have it wish listed. As I recommend, use the wish list feature. You get notifications, emails, etc., when stuff that you're hunting is on discount. So, but anyway, if it comes to it, and we're ready to watch it, probably this week or this weekend coming up. I don't care. I'll be paying the $30, and we'll be watching it in 4K cinematic. All right, 1, 2, 3. Nice and snuggle all these boys in. Boom. Okay, done. Get one more shot of this. What are we looking at now? Yeah, there we go. Flush, baby. All right, I think I should take off let's peel some films here. These are kind of hard to get. I don't want them to get stuck on there. Come on. Need a third arm. There we go. Oh, dropped it. These might be harder to peel off once the faceplate is on. So there we go. All right. One. Stick into my hand. Get off my hand. Let's get our second one. Try not to scratch anything, just enough to grab. There we go. Okay. We're in. This is where I might need the little guy to run down and give me a hand. Oh, let's see. We'll talk a couple of comments. Show. Same here. I'm trying to see if I'd be happy with the Core Mark 1. What is the resale value of the Core Mark? Talking about the inputs and whatnot. Yeah, resale is always key. Dividends looks good. Cordless screwdriver. I never bought one. I need a cord. Yeah, that would be handy right now, man. A magnetically tipped cordless screwdriver. Never bought one. Still need one. Saran, I wonder if we'll see a lot of Envy Core Mark 1s for sale due to the non-HDMI 2.1 upgradability. Definitely, if folks start making the 8K move, pulling the 8K move, that is possible. All right, so I have my 4 screws here. Yeah, it's good enough camera angle, I think. Got my 4 screws up top there. I'm going to give this a shot solo, hopefully without dismally dropping $10,000 worth of electronics onto the floor. But if I have to, get my trusty channel assistant and cinematographer down here. I think I'm going to need him. Yeah, I don't want to risk it, especially bending something in the rack. All right, let me make a quick call here. All right, here we go.
Do I need to hold it from the front or back?
If you want to hold it, I can hold it and you can screw it in. It's up top here, 3 screws and the screwdriver. So hold that there. Yep. Remember the faceplate is kind of separate. So go ahead and push it. I got it now from the back. Push it in, get it all set, move it side to side, get it lined up. We'll be good to go here. This should be the only help that I need.
Two.
Yeah, I can get the other 2. Awesome. Thanks, sir. Much appreciated. All right, here we are. Look at that. 2 Strato Ks sitting in the rack. Where did we leave off? Okay. He did the top 2, do the bottom 2 screws. I do put 4 screws into everything. Again, I bought the whole bucket O screws. Yeah, it looks nice. I do like the return to this form factor. And I'm glad they didn't change it. Definitely the one thing we didn't need, right? We did not need is a third form factor. So the fact that this form factor held from the C and the V is, in my opinion, a good thing. Okay, I need the power bricks. Let's get the power bricks out. We're almost done. We're minutes away from plugging in. First plug in, turn on, power on, and then we'll get to the whole grouping setup scenario. And I'm not going to. My plan in this, I'm not going to set up both of them. I'm not going to worry about both of them. We're going to focus on the theater. The theater one. The family's upstairs anyway. It's kind of hard to stream in the living room right at this moment in time. We'll have more privacy down in the theater. So we're going to just do that one. And I think that's the more interesting one, perhaps anyway. Although I think actually they're both interesting because, again, my little paper slid down. I think they're both interesting because, we care about the dedicated home theater, the Mad VR format to the projector, support for the formats and all that stuff. And then but a lot of people are going to use these on flat panel TVs. So I think how it plays with the television upstairs also matters a lot. So this is the right one. I guess it doesn't matter for the power bricks, but I will be a stickler. And we'll put the right power brick with the right one. Again, I'm not gonna do a full hookup, I think, of this other one, but I am gonna just get this brick out, set it up there, get it ready, and then I won't be boring everybody with tying up my tying up all the cables and stuff like that. I'll do that another time. We're just gonna get things connected and whatnot. Here, let's see. Yeah, catching up with chat. Sorry, I had my eyes off the screen for a second there as we were tossing that boy into the rack. So Ed Malik, excellent job. Thank you. Excellent install. Thanks. Yeah, I dig the rack. I love the rack. How can we cover up the cables somehow? I'm not sure what you mean. Cover up the cables. You're talking about, should I cover up the cables coming down to the rack? Like those I've never covered those. Probably never intend to. I'm in a storage room here and it's fine, but it's a little bit raw. The cables, if you're talking about the cables for the Kaleidescapes themselves, they'll all be back inside the rack. Kind of put away back inside the rack, so I won't have to do anything special for those. Okay, so this is the left one, the living room player. Put the stuff back in the box, and I'll deal with putting the boxes and stuff all the way later. All right, let's run through these comments, and I'm going to jump back there. Mitchell245, and now people see why I love C4 touchscreens. Intercom is useful. Yeah, I muted us. Hopefully, I was yelling up there, yelling up the stairs to get somebody to get down here. LMAC, let's see 4K cinematic content. Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm trying to get there. What is your display device? Yeah, we're gonna do the theater. So again, video chain is Strato K through a MadVR NV Mark II, NV Extreme Mark II, through the Trenoff Altitude CI, which is a complete HDMI 2.1 implementation, and should do no futzing, messing with the chroma. There's no menus, no overlay, nothing in the Trenoff. And then out to it's a JVC NZ900. The other one that I will cover eventually is the player that goes to the living room. That's going to a TCL QM9K, 98-inch QM9K right now. You bought two of them. Yes, yes, I did. I have two of these. But yeah, for my two zones, I use both zones. I use Kaleidescape in both zones, and I have both zones set up as demo spaces for the business. Darth Bishop, thought you're going on vacation. I'm back. Yeah, I convinced the family that we needed to leave early today. We couldn't hang around, but we went to Grand Haven, Michigan for soccer in the sand tournament for one of my kids. Left on Friday, and we got back around 3 o'clock today. Staycation. No, we went. It was fun. Okay, asking about what I'm looking at. Mail, could you have wired one Strato K to both the projector and the TV? Conceivably, I could have, and I have done that in the past. Longer ago, I had one Strato player, and I had the Anthem at the time, and I would zone to HDMI one Kaleidescape main zone to the theater, and I would zone to it to the living room. But I don't like doing it that way. Actually, having discrete players in each zone, there's some slight different configuration between the two of them that I'm trying to keep, particularly on the audio side. And then, of course, having two players means I could watch, or different people, kids, friends, whatever, could watch something in the theater, still use it in the living room. So I do discrete zones. Maybe later on in the live stream we can see what you zombies are going for. We'll see. I'm not sure that's something we'll jump into, but Elmac, I was thinking of using one Strato K for my Valerian Vision Master. It wasn't ready to commit to the Zigbee Titan Noir or anything. I think the Pro 2 is still good enough for Strato K. But yeah, I mean, you could always, there's a lot of options to take one device and mux it to multiple zones. If you have a zone 2 on your receiver preamp kind of setup, you could do that. If you have, you could always get like an HDMI splitter, like a 1 in 2 out type of splitter. All right, I'm gonna get in the back here and connect these players. Oh, I should take hold on, let me take one note of note for myself of the serial numbers, so that when I turn these on, I know which one is which, so I know which one we're grouping. Okay, where am I looking here? Systems, just a quick note. Let me do a note. Which one is this? This is the living room, and the serial number is on the box. Yeah. Okay. Strato K, living room. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Strato K theater. Where are you? Put it on the box somewhere. There we go. Oops, sequential serial numbers, as we kind of would expect, I guess, since they were ordered in the same order. Okay, right, that will make it easy to identify them. I'm going to have to end up using the app to control it. I don't think there is a Control 4 update required to control the Strato K. Okay, I'm going to get back here, and we're going to make some connections with these power bricks and stuff. See the lights come on? I love these lights. Magnetic stick-on, motion-sensitive lights, LED strips. They're rechargeable. I've had them for, I don't even know how long, months. Haven't even had a need to recharge or anything. Okay, so what am I plugging in here? I've got Ethernet on one, and all I did here was take I just left the exact connections, the Ethernet cables, the HDMI cables that I was plugging into the Strato E's before. And I'm plugging these in now. There's one, there's two, So again, I got infinite HDMI 2.1 certified rated cables for the going into the, actually, I think I said it backwards. So it's Kaleidescape into the Trinoff to the MadVR to the JVC. And then upstairs here, you can see it. I got my little pure fiber RUI Pro cable, the one that has the detachable ends. I've been digging these cables so far. Not a single concern with them. Okay, let me get the power brick for one of these guys. No, I'm going to go ahead and just tie. It's only 2 Velcros. So I use these Velcro strips to tie my stuff up. Let's see, this one. Go here. Put it in my mouth, which I really probably shouldn't do. Where is the plug? There it is. All right, so let's get this kind of. I like to always keep my cabling as clean as possible. As small. Yeah, smaller run as possible. And actually, I don't even think I need any slack pulled out of this to get this one in there. And I have, show this. So what I'm doing is I have these. That's the short one. That's the long one. So these are from Monoprice. I have these like 3-prong. This is like a. This might be a 1 foot power cable. So you don't have all the slack. You don't have to deal with all the slack. Okay, so probably should have put this in before I did the other cables just for the routing, but it is what it is. All right, so sorry I can't get the camera back here in any real good effective way, but I'm just setting the power brick down there, and we'll have the first one powered on now. Let that sit. We should see, might even see it. I'm not sure if you can see it. Some blue LEDs powering up there. I'm going to move this the power brick for the Terra over a little bit so we can make room for the other power brick here. Grab the other Velcro strap. I'll be back to look at the chat comments in just a second. Just 1 second. Let's get this guy Velcroed in. It's only 2 Velcros. Everything else is already set to length and secured. Nice and clean. So this one's going to go to the other side just a little bit. What I do, another little trick, I don't know if there's a good way to show this. I've showed it in other videos, whatnot though, is in between. It looks like I have a blank in between the 1U for the Strato players and the Terra server underneath it. That is not just a blank. That is a blank. That is a shelf with a blanking faceplate. And so having the shelf, it's like a half length, shorter length shelf. I can actually wonderfully have a place to put all the power bricks because everything Kaleidescape has power bricks. So there's power bricks for the players. There's also a power brick for the Terra. And I have all the power bricks sitting comfortably on that shelf. It is the perfect solution for that. All right, I see blinking Ethernet. I see LEDs on. If there is any connection or updating going on, those guys are getting, right now they're getting dynamic IP addresses from the Ubiquity system. I will put in reservations, DHCP reservations for them so that they go on a fixed IP and then they will get connected to my Control 4 setup as well. Brent Bab, 6559. How many channels are you using on your Trinoff? I have a 16-channel Altitude CI down here with the Amplitude 16 as well. I'm using all 16 channels, 11 speakers, 5 subwoofers. Al Malik, I have subscribed. Thanks for doing this live video. My pleasure. My pleasure. I'm looking forward to this. Again, I wanted to do this last Thursday, then Friday, been gone, all kinds of stuff going on. I should say as well, mentioning subscribers, huge milestone, 30,000 subs hit over the weekend. And it's flying. The home I put up the newest home theater tour video post Trinoff upgrade, and that video is doing great, and really took a huge subscriber bump. So I actually did a YouTube promotion for that. I haven't done any. I haven't tried to promote any of my videos on YouTube. Try to get them shown to a wider audience, get some interest, whatever. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try it. So and it's really resonating. So thanks for that, everybody. And yeah, 30K subscribers, huge milestone. Super exciting to see the most significant digit roll up one. So I'm really hoping, based watching other channels, like I feel like, Aaron's Audio, Aaron's a friend. Um, those channels are bigger now, but I feel like they went from like 30 to 50K real fast, like way much faster than earlier. So like hopefully the speed of, get the message out, share the information, share the fun. I love it. Will your dealer need to upgrade Control 4 for the K? Yes, there is a driver update. I haven't dug into it. I brought it to his attention. I'm a Snap dealer and whatnot, but I don't sell Control 4. I have Control 4 here, Core 5 controller down here, wherever it is down there, and I use a Halo Touch remote for my systems. Control 4 all through the household, doing all kinds of stuff. I don't know if he did it yet, but Mike Cobb, I think, had posted on the owners forum thread about the K that there is a driver update for the control systems that you need to get. So it will not be. I'm not even going to try for the purposes of the stream. I'm just going to use the app because it's easy. We want to focus on the unit. So, but I don't think my Control 4 control is established. I need to do the IP address setup. I'm not going to do that today as well. Al Malik, I use RUI Pro Fiber HTML also. They're in 350 footers, no issue in my sim rig. Yeah, I've been using RUI Pro for a while, and then I switched the whole living room over to those pure fiber detachable ends, and I'm digging them. Probably end up using something like that on the theater eventually. Ended up velcroing my cables with different colors. Yeah, 3. Yep. Use some tape, colors, etc. Well, it's 100K around the corner. Yeah, I hope so. That'd be so awesome. It'd be so cool. We'll get there someday. I think. I have faith. I have faith and hope, and I think I can do good work and keep going there. Okay. Mitchell, yeah, statically assign those IPs as well. So, Save Me Bake would need to nuke my networks and forget my IP list. Yep. Yeah, my IP stuff is all managed, all the Ubiquity stuff up there. All right, let's turn this thing on. Okay, so we got to switch some things around. I need to I need to get the remote. I forgot to get the remote. Let me ask the family here. Can someone please bring me the Halo remote for the theater now? Right, they should see that upstairs. Okay, so let's take a look at this. You wanted to get an idea of those beautifully glowing LEDs. You can kind of see, have like the square, because it's just the top. I thought it was the top and bottom, but they're glowing on the top, so you can tell a Strato K in a rack by virtue of its glowious nature. Okay, I'm going to move rooms because we can't watch any movies in here. I have my phone for the control. Actually, I could even use, I'm going to do some screen sharing. I could even use the Mac app, actually, and then people can see that. Everybody can kind of see that as I'm doing it. But they're powered on, the Terra is powered on, and we should be able to have everything we need. I'm going to bring this, I guess. The microphone should hold. I got my water. All right, let's leave this room. I'm just going to, nobody heard my text message. I'm going to yell. Well, we'll just go. We'll take a little walk. Take a walk together here. Let's take a walk upstairs. We'll get this remote control. Oh, there it is. Thank you, son. All right, going back downstairs. Yeah, so there's the Halo perfectly capable. Actually, I think using that remote is a superior way to control a kaleidoscape because there's a couple functions, couple functions and features in Control 4 that are quite valuable, like the skip back. Having the 10-second skip back is awesome. I'm gonna close these doors. Ooh, nice and cool, refreshing in here. We had great weather for the weekend. Each day got progressively hotter, and we're going to like 100 degrees in Michigan here this week. It's going to be wild. Okay, let me get situated. We'll catch up on the comments. We'll get the system turned on and powering on. Get my handy tray table for the audio device revelation seats. It actually gives me the ability. This is pretty good, actually. I can go whoop, so we can take a look at what's on screen when we want to, and good to go here. So I'm going to change rooms. We do have two zones, but we leave the Halo remote upstairs and then just carry it downstairs to use it in the theater when we're ready to do that. Srin saying that means if I decide to get the K, my Savant system would need a driver update too. Yeah, possibly. V and K will match quite well. Yep. What screen size is this? This is a 163-inch diagonal, 150-inch wide. It's a 235, 237 scope screen. Yeah, Seymour AV Center Stage XD material. Just bought the Spexman anamorphic lens. Yeah, I have a DCR, so behind me we can see it. You can't really see it. The lens of the front end of the NZ900 is sticking out, and there's a Panamorph DCR on it. I do love the scope setup. And all right, so we're turning on, powering up. I do love the scope setup, but just be careful. There's a lot of bad information out there, like you have to have scope to be cinematic, or or you want 16:9 for this reason or that reason. It's really an installation question. And in home theater, we're going to be watching content of all kinds of different aspect ratios: 185, 2.0, 235, 240, 16:9, maybe even 4:3. If you're watching some older stuff. So it's about maximizing surface area is to me is the most important thing. Okay, so this will take a second. We got a lot to turn on. Stuff hasn't been turned on in a few days. Hopefully there were no issues. Oh, here we go. Look at that Kaleidescape. One moment, please. So that's booting up. All right, so okay, what do I got to do here? Let's get this going. I'm going to close a couple of windows. Yeah, it's 90 degrees outside right now. Holy cow. All right. I'm going to close this. And I'm going to move this over. I'm going to open up the Kaleidescape app. Oh, new version of this app is available in the store. Okay, yeah, we need the. All right, let me do this. This will only take a second. And I should share. Can I share? I got it. So I want to share. I want to be wise and thoughtful about what I'm sharing as well. Okay, let's do, because I'm going to have to just share. I think I can only share one window at a time. So I'm going to share the screen. We don't need to share system audio. We're going to share this screen. So you're going to see like the the infinite window. Okay, let's go to the Mac App Store. Wow, 13 updates. Holy cow. Okay, what matters is this guy though. Updated June 17th. Boom, there we go. Kaleidescape. So here's the app designed for iPad. This is the iPad version running on Mac OS. Works great. Available for iPhone and iPad. What's new? Support for 4K cinematic and 8K movie formats from a week ago. Okay, so now we can run this boy. Supergirl up for pre-order. Hey, 4K cinematic. Let's go. Although that's not necessarily looking to be that great of a movie, as I understand things. Okay, let me get to. Let me make sure. Turn off is obviously on, but things haven't been turned on in a while. I want to make sure if I play movies, I got to need to mute sound to do this right. I'm just making sure that we have. Let me check the turn off. Okay, we're good. Turn off is muted, and we're obviously working. So let's go to HDMI 2, and that will be our Kaleidescape player. I'm not expecting to see. Okay, there we go. Boom. All right, welcome to Kaleidescape. That is our first inclination. We are booted up. It's working. It's working. And let me try to connect the remote to this one. And we're working. Okay. Network. Not going to change the network. Okay. What's the best way to do this? I want to also, bear with me 1 second. I'm going to take the share away for just a second. And I want to pull up a browser window. We're going to go to the web UI. Yeah, devices. So if you go to my-kaleidescape.local, you can see what's going on here. Okay. Oh, I'm like, I get these windows kind of over top of myself. Okay, so let's go here. All right, boom, boom. Okay, so we have movie player with storage. Oh, it took me to this. It took me to the player. Okay, we're not going to do it this way. We're not going to do it this way. We're going to go off the UI. So let me flip this around. Let's go back to full screen. Okay, so I go, what do we got? The usual Kaleidescape setup. Welcome to Kaleidescape. Setting up your player will take just a few moments. If you need to make any adjustments to the network configuration of this player, use the network option below. Otherwise, navigate down to your remote. So I'm not going to do anything on the network stuff right now. We will change this later. So we're going to go down to continue. To continue setup of your player, scan the QR code below to open the Kaleidescape mobile app, then follow the instructions in the app. To continue setup without the Kaleidescape mobile app, choose an option below. Set up this player as a standalone player. Not looking to do that. I may actually end up setting up the living room system as a standalone player, at least for a little while at first, because I want to probably make some content about it and show it off. Set up this player as a new system with a Terra Movie server. I don't want that. I already have a system. So Kaleidescape hardware groups together in what they call systems. You can have multiple servers, multiple players. When everything's together in a system, those players can see those servers, and my Terra 48 is operational as my system. So I want the bottom option. Oh, we got to go back over here. I want this bottom option. I want, come on, MacBook, Windows, don't fail me now. All right. Add this player as a new zone to an existing Kaleidescape system. We're going to do that. Yep. And we should see, there it is, join system. A Kaleidescape system has been detected on your network. Join an existing system to create a single combined library that can be enjoyed on all players. So again, if I was just setting up the K standalone, we saw the option to do that, nice and easy. And then, but if you're upgrading, anybody out there that has C's, V's, E's, whatever, you're adding K's to your system or replacing players, you would keep your Terra server system intact and you would add to it. So we're going to pick this. We're going to join the system. There we go. Join link success. Oh, that was fast. Players join the selected system. It may take a few minutes to update the contents of the library. Okay, that's good. Oh, there we go. Boom. Just flipped. Now we have finish. Your player is ready for use. You may configure additional settings by choosing settings from the system tab of the main menu. Press OK to begin using your player. All right, let's OK. Boom. And we should go right to the movie wall, I would suspect. Oh, where is my movie wall, buddy? Because that Terra server has all kinds of content loaded on it. Okay, let me see. Go back to my component. I'm going to do a bit of a refresh. There it is. Or okay, what's happening here? I wonder if it's the version that the chassis needs to be updated. Let's give it a refresh. Come on. All right, bear with me. Bear with me. This is what you get doing stuff live. I'll hit some comments again in a second. I want to make sure that we keep the speed and the momentum going here. I do see the ability to add the other one to the system. Oh, here we go. A software upgrade has been downloaded and will be installed the next time your system restarts. This happens automatically when your system is idle. If you would like to receive the updates immediately, oh, here, I can share this. You can restart your system now. Let's do it. Are you sure you want to restart your system? Any playing movies will be interrupted. So yeah, I suspect. Okay, please wait a few minutes while your system restarts. Okay, so our screen just went down. Everything's got to be on the same version. So the players are sitting at 26.1 or 26 point something, and yeah, 26.1, and the Terra server is not. Okay, there's a good chance to look at some comments. Actually, I'll get the infinite view off while we're waiting. A lot of comments. I might have to be picky. I might have to be choosy about which comments I pull up here. We're already booting. Kaleidescape, one moment, please. Okay. Yeah, 100 degrees in Michigan. Jeremy going to be chilling in the theater. Heck yeah, dude. I'm not going outside at 100 degrees. I don't even want to go to the office. I just want to stay home. Halo remotes look really nice. They're like $600 each. Yeah, almost more like 1,000 for the touch. Yeah, trade-offs. How long do the Halo remotes generally last? Well, I've had mine for a while. It's fine. I don't feel it's in any need of a battery replacement or anything like that. I'm seeing boot up going on here, Kaleidescape logo. So we started up, but I was still not at a movie wall. Okay. All right, let me diagnose, close. Player might be up, but maybe the server's still restarting. Let me refresh my. Okay, there it is. Your system is upgraded to KOS 26.1. If I look at components. Oh wait, that's the Terra server's still restarting, I think. We'll give this a moment. Let me hit a couple more comments. All right, some talk about the batteries, etc. I'm gonna kind of skip that. Yeah, I can't wait to hear how the 4K UI looks. Yeah, that's another nice side effect of going to the K is we're back to like the Strato C, we're back to a native 4K UI. So Brian Horror fan, I really wish they would have gone with 2.5G port. Yeah, I agree. 2 terabyte SSD in this due to the much larger file size. Yeah, that would have been cool too. Okay, oh, we got movement, got black screen again. Things are working. Things are. And notice I'm not doing anything like this. Best case scenario, like things are very smooth. Everything pairs, everything groups, everything talks to each other in this ecosystem, and I shouldn't have to really intervene a whole lot. I got a one moment please there. Um, yeah, they want you to buy the servers. Of course, that's I mean, it is what it is. It's a business model, and honestly, using Kaleidescape with a server is a superior experience than in standalone mode. It just is. Srin, if we already have the V and get a K, also can we use the remote from the V to set up the K? Yes, it is all the same remote control. All of them, all of them use the same remote control. So we got some little bit of action going on here while we wait. I've seen the logo pop up a couple of times. There it is. Okay. That is not the movie wall. That is the, well, I guess what we would call the reduced UI. You know what? I'm going to control this right now from my phone because I want to keep the where are we at? Select zone. Give me that player. Okay, here we go. Yep. Yeah. So we're connected to the server. We are connected to the server. So, but this is good. This is indicative of what you would get actually. This is one element of the UI. If I hit this button, boom, there's our movie wall. We got a couple of things to configure and stuff to do. But I want to show this off real quick. So this is the collections view. It's really what we would call it on the full UI. There's really like three different ways to see your content in the complete UI. You have the collections view, you have the movie wall, and you have list view. If you're running in standalone mode with no Terra server, then you get only this. You get basically the equivalent of collections view in the strip. And the top strip would just be the content that you have downloaded. Or sorry, the top strip is always the movie store. Then the next strip would be just the content that you have downloaded and you'd be able to play it. Everybody always says, why don't they just put the movie wall on the standalone mode? They don't do that because when you can only fit 7 movies, having 7 movies in a strip makes sense. When you only have 7 movies, it doesn't make sense to have them repeat 3 times in the movie wall. And yeah, and I can say it's nice to have the it's nice to have the 4K UI back, sharper art and whatnot. And then we have strips for like new movies, meaning newly downloaded. Yeah, this is the latest download because I downloaded a bunch of these in 4K cinematic. We have movies that are paused that I had been watching or stopped, mostly demos, movies that I have played. Here we go, 4K cinematic and 8K content going in its own kind of strip. And then I have my collections. I made a Bond collection, Dad stuff, DC, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Marvel. Songs is there by default. Wish I could delete it, but I can't. And then Star Wars. Okay, let's go back to the movie wall. Actually, let's do a couple things quickly on player. So I'm going to hit the menu. We're going to do a little configuration, command and control setup here. So we have the My Movies section, and again, you only get this all of this complete stuff if you have a server. Um, but you do have access to the movie store. Let me show this because everybody always asks this. I want to see all my movies. The movie wall only shows me what's downloaded. The movie strip only shows me what's downloaded. I want to see all my movies. You can see all of your movies on any Kaleidescape with a server or without, because if you go to the store and you go to My Movies and I go to the left, I can view all of my movies. And boom, there it is. A movie cover wall view showing me all of my movies. And this even does the cool stuff, like it does the shuffle, movies related to Inception. If I grab Batman and I do another shuffle, I should see like not only Christopher Nolan, but some other DC things pop up, right? So I have this. You can always see all your movies on device. And if one of these, let's see, yeah, Superman, I think this is not downloaded. I could open up the menu from here, and that's interesting. Wait, why am I getting a purchase option? This is my let me try another one. Wait, it's showing me something. I wonder if it's because it's wish listed. Yeah, I think it's wish listed. So My Movies includes the wish list. So let me pull up something that I that I own. Um, Boom, there we go. I can download. So I can view all my movies. I can download my movies and stuff directly on the player, and I have the capability to do that. Okay, I don't want to dwell on this too long. Let's get back to what I was trying to do here. Let's go home. Or actually, sorry, menu. I'm going to go over to settings. There's a couple things that we got to set up here. Okay, so what do we see? System name. We'll end up changing that. current time KOS version, yeah, 26.1, upgraded June 18th, which was probably when it shipped. So that's not today. Last service connection 1 minute ago. Movies on my system right now, 420 with 583 different versions. Available storage, I can hold 152 more 4K cinematic or 226 regular 4Ks. Okay, downloads. Nothing's downloading right now. Player options. I want to change my screensaver timeout. I don't even usually use the screensaver much, but yeah, we'll set it at least to 30 minutes. And then standby, always using high power standby because I want Control 4 to be able to wake it up. Not going to do the network stuff. I am going to change the name to theater. I use theater and living room. If I wanted to do a custom name, I could do that as well. Not going to. Preferred movie language. I speak English. I like English. Movie audio, play movie audio in original language if available. Um, I usually prefer the English, and then show English subtitles when the audio is not English. Yep. Passcode for parental controls and stuff. Don't use it, don't need it, as well as parental controls. And then one thing here, I do want this one. This is important for a scope screen, even with a video processor. Subtitle repositioning for screen masking. Automatically reposition subtitles within the movie image. Yes, please. There's no reason to have the MadVR clamp down on the whole image to show the subtitles when the Kaleidescape can just put the subtitles in the movie image. So one of the best settings, home theater settings for this thing overall. We have a reset option there. And then lastly, time zone is Eastern time. And this one was already set how I want it. When browsing cover art in the movie wall view, I like alphabetical. I don't want it shuffling automatically. That's another thing I like Control 4 for is I have a shuffle button on my bound on my Halo. So I can shuffle and I can revert to alphabetical, and I bind those to the channel up and down buttons on the Halo remote. Works like a champ. But the default presentation, I want alphabetical, and then that's it for that. So okay, so we needed to set those couple of things up. Let's go back to the movie wall. Yeah, looking real nice, looking sharp, looking clean. Okay, where is there a 4K cinematic movie? A couple things we need to do. Notice the movie wall is not filling the screen. That is in some of the advanced settings. We'll get to that. What did I download? Let's go Top Gun. Top Gun Maverick. That was one that I updated. Let me remember my alphabetical order. Okay, so what does it look like? Here we go. Top Gun Maverick. What does it look like to have the 4K cinematic copy downloaded? There we see. We have the movie description at the top. We have the runtime, the aspect ratio, region of the release region, release year. And we see it. There it is. 4K cinematic tag, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, ratings, genres, cast, director, etc. Okay, we can play the movie. We can play a scene. We can play the trailer. We can go to the movie store and look at related movies or other content from the same contributors, etc. We can manage collections, and we can go to more options, which gives me the ability here, as I was looking for, play the version. So I got them all. Pokemon, Kaleidescape Pokemon. Got to collect them all. Wasting a ton of space on my server, of course. This will not be the permanent way that I use this. Not at all. But in order to do comparisons, this is cool though, because you don't need, you want to do a comparison. Hey, does 4K cinematic look better than regular 4K? It's not, that's the question, right? Or how much better does it look really? Is maybe a better way to pose the question. It's not, it's not how much better does a Strato K look than a Strato C or a Strato V or whatever, or a Strato E for that matter. It's about the format of the movie. And because I can play the other formats on the K, I can go back and forth between the different formats. So for a couple of these movies, I downloaded triple format. So I have the 4K cinematic Dolby Vision version. I have the 4K Dolby Vision version to compare Dolby Vision to Dolby Vision, cinematic to non-cinematic. And then this is the copy that I would have had on my server for the longest time. which is the HDR10 copy. So let me see a couple questions. Even though Kaleidescape is not cheap, I have to say I didn't see as much of a price jump one could expect with component costs these days. Yeah, again, like Apple, a lot of things just got more expensive last week. So it is what it is. But we're back to 5K for the player. How many height channels are you using on your turn-off? I have 4 heights, 4 overhead speakers, 11 speakers, 7 bed layer, 4 overhead, 5 subwoofers, 3 in the front, 2 in the back, and using waveforming for that. There is a brand new updated home theater tour. It's 45 minutes long, published it last Thursday. For folks that are watching, if you want to see the whole spiel, the whole shtick of the room, check out that tour. And I hope we see F1. Yep, I downloaded F1 at your request. So I have that on here in a couple different formats. Charles Flute, do you get movie credits when buying a new player? No, that was something they did a long time ago. That really hasn't been the case anymore. But if you're interested, again, if anybody's interested, I am a dealer for this as well as all kinds of other brands and whatnot. But I've been a happy user of this platform for almost a decade, 8-9 years. I know all about it, in and out. If you're looking, you want to talk about it, you have questions, send me an email. Go to the webpage techthusiasm.net, and yeah, we'll have that. There's some info there to screen capture and whatnot. Get to me through the webpage. Send an email. We can talk pricing, options, stuff like that. Darth Bishop, clean your lens. I think it's not the lens. It's the overhead can lights are kind of like glaring. I'm sitting literally right under a light as this beam of the heavens shines on my face right now. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, that's that. Mo 77 is the cinematic version. Just change the aspect ratio. No, so 4K cinematic. What we mean by 4K cinematic in Kaleidescape is a couple different things. One is much significantly higher bit rates, like an average bit rate of the encoding that is 115 megabit per second, whereas maybe you're lucky to get about 60 megabit per second on a 4K disc. You usually get maybe about 80, 75, 80 on a Kaleidescape 4K encode, and you get of course way less than that, maybe 15 or 20 on streaming, and then you get native chroma. Okay, I need to change one thing. Let me show this and make sure this is the last of the configuration, and then I'm going to play some content. I'm trying to move real quick here because we're going to be hitting up against 7 o'clock soon, and I want to be able to look at some of the content. So yeah, so there's a lot behind the 4K cinematic format. Okay, let me share again, pull this up, infinite view, and we look at the boom, there we go. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I need to change some of the advanced settings on the player. This is what I really kind of want to play around with more. So if we look here, general, we did update 26.1 today, just did it a minute ago. If I look at my download history, just to verify what did I download? Network's running a little bit slow. Come on, baby. Load me up. Yeah, there we go. Okay, what did I download? Okay, yeah, Fantastic Four. Oh yeah, because that Silver Surfer scene, where she's chasing them to the wormhole. Deadpool and Wolverine, Superman, Top Gun Maverick, F1, Minecraft, and Ready Player One. And I downloaded some of these. I downloaded the Dolby Vision version as well. Okay, settings. I need to go to the player. We need to go to the special advanced settings web UI interface of the player. Hide this. Okay, come back to here. Okay. Video capabilities and statuses. Show video capabilities and statuses. Here we go. Video ports. We are connected. HDMI 8K active. This 8K Ultra HD capable player is currently getting to display, which reports no support for 8K, as we know, because ultimately we're going through a MAD VR that has a HDMI 2.0 capture. We do not have 8K support. What do we support? We support 4K 24 at 444 and HDR10. Yep, Dolby Vision content. And so here we go. Your display supports 4K at 24 with HDR10. Dolby Vision content will play in HDR10. So this is another question about this is like right now, the majority of the 4K cinematic content is in Dolby Vision. You may not have a Dolby Vision display. Your projector may not support Dolby Vision. That's okay. The Kaleidescape Strato K will output the Dolby Vision as HDR10. And we also have options to be able to try to get the native Dolby Vision, I think, like to the MadVR with the like the LLDV type stuff. That's something we need to play around with a little bit. But we also support here. Your display will support 4K 60 with HDR10. The player will switch to 30 hertz to play 4K cinematic content, as we kind of would expect. Dolby Vision content will play in HDR10. So we do 4K 30 up to 444, but we do not support 4K 60 at 444. That is an HDMI limitation. It takes like 20. That's a limitation of my setup because of the MadVR. The MadVR's maximum HDMI bandwidth is 18, and you need more than 18 gigabit per second to do 4K 60 444. But again, it shouldn't matter. That's only the menu. And this is what I was kind of curious to see right now is what are we getting? What are we getting? We are getting current HDMI output status signal, TDMS 18 gig, HDCP 2.3, 4K 60, 444, 24-bit, but it is Rec 709 SDR. And if I look at my Envy, it's 8-bit, and this is why. Because it's SDR, it's 8-bit, 4K 60, 444, passes HDMI 2.0 in 8-bit. And I was really wondering, were they going to output the UI in 444? Cool that they do. So graphics, text with the native 4K output, now at using 444, etc. That's great. It works. Okay. What we want to do though, that is the capabilities. Let's go back. And we got to change some of these settings. Okay, so video output behavior. Now, right now, this is currently set allow display mode changes default. We need to change this. This needs to be allow display mode changes, use external scaler for the native chroma of the 4K cinematic content to pass out of the Strato to the player. If I do minimize display mode changes, there may be chroma conversion going on depending on certain elements of the system. So use external scaler. I have a MadVR. I want the MadVR scaling anything that's not already native 4K anyway. So that's what we're looking for there. Preferred resolution, used highest available up to 4320. That's 8K, but it'll be 4K. Okay, here, select OSD aspect ratio. You have to change this. And I want to do the CinemaScape 2.35 4K letterbox. Let me show this. Sorry, I'm juggling between a bunch of different stuff. Let me go back to the movie wall because what we're going to do here is commit this so that we do get the. I'm going to hit OK. It's going to go black for a second because we're set to the display mode changes. Boom. Now we have our scope movie wall. More posters filling the screen. Exactly what we want to do. Oh, hey, Sammy's here. Cool. Oh, this is good to know. Kscape menu has always been 8-bit 444. Okay, that's cool. So that's not different because of any of the changes. And the reason it works at 444 is because it's 8-bit, and that's whereas the HDR content is like whatever 10-bit, 10-bit, 12-bit, higher bit rate, bit depth. Okay, let me go back here. Let me go back here, back here. Boom. Okay, allow display mode changes, use external scaler, CinemaScape. All right, let's look what else do we got. We have OSD refresh rate. I'm just going to leave this at 60 right now. There's some cool tricks that you can do with the MadVR to run the Kaleidescape menu at 24 hertz. Not worried about that now. I actually kind of prefer the UI at 60 anyway. 4K and 8K Ultra HD support. Player detects the display's 4K and 8K capabilities. So if we wanted to, we could limit uh, HDMI features to certain bandwidths and capabilities. No reason I think we need to change that from automatic. High dynamic range format. Okay, so here's where here's a setting that I want to play around with a little bit. I am going to leave this just set to automatic for now, and we'll verify what we get in terms of formats and stuff. But I believe, and actually, Sam, you can help too. Correct me if I'm wrong here. I believe if we change this to prefer Dolby Vision low latency, the K will output Dolby Vision to the Mad VR, and the Mad VR will process it internally, I guess, differently. Color format. I think automatic here is fine. It'll prefer the highest like native chroma that it can get, but we'll verify that as well. Like I don't think we would want to say prefer one or the other, because if the 4K cinematic content is in Dolby Vision 422, I would prefer to have the Mad VR do the 422 to 444 expansion or interpolation, and then do its processing. So what we especially with the Mad VR, we'll want native output, and then everything else happens in the Mad VR. Same thing with bit depth, and then the content type. I will turn this on because I'm using the Mad VR. This helps. There's a metadata flag, and the Kaleidescape will tell the Mad VR explicitly, "Hey, I'm in the menus or I'm in a movie." Okay, that I'm going to commit those. Little flash, nothing really changed on screen, and just want to verify the rest of it that we're good to go. Audio behavior is set to output bitstream, and we have an auto detect for everything. DTS, Dolby Digital Plus, True HD, DTS MA, PCM, good to go. Nothing in the network, not doing anything in control. I don't use CEC. This is not turned on. And that's it. I don't have any lightings and shades. Okay. I think I'm ready to play my first piece of content. Yeah, let's fire it up. Let's fire it up. Okay. Yep, let's go. All right, we're going to do this momentarily. Oh, well, the NV convert 444 to 422. No, yeah, the NV will send out 444. Correct. Yep. Thanks for answering those questions. Okay, let's see. Oh, I've got the Mad VR remote, and so I got to be careful here. I've got things muted. I don't want any movie audio coming through, and I'm not going to play moving video, but I will pause and we'll move around here kind of as we go. So let's first. I'm going to play. This is Top Gun Maverick. Play version. I'm going to play. Yeah, I'm going to play the 4K Dolby Vision version, and we'll see what we get. We're going to have a. Ooh, no, we won't. Good. As I say, the lights are going to go on and off, and I'm going to have to mess around with that, but it's not programmed in Control 4 because this player isn't on Control 4. Okay, so we're playing now. Let me kind of skip ahead. Actually, just. Yeah, I'll just skip to chapter 2. Okay, there we are. We're paused so people know what we're looking at here. We are looking at the beginning frame, essentially, of chapter 2 in the hangar. They're about to launch that plane. What I want to do, I want to go into settings here, and I want to look at what am I getting? What are we getting? This is regular 4K format, Dolby Vision, HDBCP 2.2, 2160p, 23.976 FPS, Chroma, YUV 420. Here, let me share this. So this is what we're looking at, right? This is the regular old 4K content. We're getting YUV 420. The Kaleidescape is upping that to 422 original. So it's 420 10-bit. It's outputting 422 12-bit in BT20 space, where the media, this is the media. I'm sorry, the media is DV profile 5, and we're outputting is HDR10. And if I look at the Mad VR, what a Mad VR says, it matches. We're getting 4K, 24, 444, 12-bit, and we are getting incoming. This is incoming signal info. BT 2020 transfer function HDR PQ with some metadata, movie aspect ratio indicated, etc. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to I'm going to play this and just kind of watch a few seconds of this scene. Very dark. He's getting in the cockpit. You can see some of the reflections on his like face mask helmet. The cockpit is closing. They're in like the CENTCOM area. A lot of HDR stuff. I do have my lights on, so okay. Let me stop. Take a second. We've got a lot of HDMI syncs and stuff, of course, always going on in a projection setup. Okay, we're back to the menu. I'm gonna go down. Actually, I'll leave this up. So now if I refresh this, we'll see there's, yeah, we're back to the menu, 4K. Okay, more options, play version, 4K cinematic Dolby Vision. Here we go. The inaugural, sorry, 4K cinematic Kaleidescape Strato K playback item. Waiting for the syncs. This a refresh. There we go. We can see it. The original media. What do we got? 2.2, 4K. Still waiting for the load up here. 24 FPS. Native chroma YUV 422, 10-bit being output as 422, 12 DV being output as HDR10. Output 10.2. Yeah, it's only using 10.2G. Right, I got a long. We got an incoming signal info. The NV's not picking something up. Wonder if I will have to change my HDMI. I can't imagine I have to change my HDMI cables for this. $108. So the timer, Kaleidescape doesn't think it's playing. Let me stop. Okay, we're back. Oops, stop. Okay, let me try this one more time. I'm going to leave the NV menu up. Oh, I got to see what I'm what I'm clicking on though. All right, let's try this again. Incoming signal info. I'm getting what I usually get, kind of a flash. There it goes. Okay. We are playing back. Let me go to chapter 2. Little pop down. All right. So we have NV showing 4K 24 pixel format 422 12-bit HDR. Got it. And then we have the native chroma there. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put the lights down. Scenes, theater dark. I'm going to go darker here myself. Just going to watch this. Let me go back because I wasn't really paying attention. I'm going to start chapter 2 again. So I'm kind of like looking at the clarity, some of the details, like the reflections in his helmet. I'm gonna just watch this a couple times in a row. I'm watching like the first 30 seconds of chapter 2. It's a really good shot inside like the CENTCOM building there. The control come on, control building. Oh, I gotta reconnect my app. Control zone. Go back one more time, then I'm gonna switch to the other one again. This is a darker scene as well, not a lot of color. I can skip to another chapter, but I wanna see. Oh, I meant to hit pause and I hit stop. Yeah, I'm gonna make an adjustment with the light on, um, because 'cause I've liked to video very poor. Yeah, like I said, I turned it off. Okay, let me go back to the other one. Let's go back to this Dolby Vision one. Obviously, I'm gonna need to spend some time down here, really kind of actually, the very beginning too, where the Skydance kinda logo comes in. Yeah, I think there's a difference. So let me pause here. So what I'm looking at, kinda looking at this scene here, right? Kind of the reflections, the detail, all that stuff going on those monitors. I'm gonna see some motion. Probably should jump ahead some chapters to, let me go back on this a few times. Well, this is a good question. I guess JVC is outputting. Well, JVC doesn't output. JVC would receive the signal, right, that it's getting, but I can also pull up, where's my JVC remote? So let's look at the difference. If I look at the info, actually, it's getting the same signal no matter what. It's getting from the Envy, it's getting 4K SDR. Um, yeah, because the Envy is always outputting the same thing. But if you didn't have an Envy in the chain, it would still, you could still input either one of these to the projector. I'm gonna go back one more time. Let me go. Only downside to doing this, especially down here, is there's such a lag in switching back and forth between the stuff. I'm going back to the cinematic version. Yeah, there's some sharpness. There's like yeah, there's like it's like another little increment, like in clarity, like in detail. I'm gonna try to go way further in. Let's go. I'm not sure that what's in what chapter. Going to chapter 7. They're still training. 9. When I get to the mission. Surprised it started me at the as I switch formats between oh man, facial close-ups. Always something that looked insane on this video chain, even more so. Chapter 14. Come on, which one am I going? Okay, here. Actually, oh, this is great. It's like the panning shot of the aircraft carrier right at the start of chapter 14. I'm on the cinematic version right now. I do have to differentiate some of what I'm seeing, of course, is filtered through the Mad VR. Okay, let me check that scene on the Dolby Vision, the regular Dolby Vision version. Oh, it's almost 7 o'clock. So we will just to let folks know, we will wrap up here soon. Um, I'm definitely going to need to spend much more time jumping around all this content. I got to re-download so much more content to my server, but we will be back live at 8 o'clock for like the regular podcast, and we will have Mike Cobb from Kaleidescape joining for an hour. He'll be with us for an hour, 8 to 9, talking about this, giving us some insight, details on the whole thing behind the Strato K, behind these formats, 8K plans, 4K cinematic, background and details in chapter 14. Watching the aircraft carrier kind of pan. Yeah, it's richer. It's like it's richer, it's cleaner. Ooh, nice facial close up there as well. Kind of watching the background. It's like it gives the envy something better to start with, right? I want to see his face again. All right, let me go back one more time. And we'll take a couple last questions and then we'll wrap it up. I need to take a vocal break. I need to need to get some food and be ready to go for 8 o'clock. Thanks everybody for coming out. I think this might have hit a record in terms of the number of folks hanging out, but I think it's fun to get a new piece of gear in and kind of share some of the experience of playing around with it, getting it set up, going through some of the settings, some of the ways, some of the things that we're operating, all about this together. All right, let's skip chapter 14 again. There's like a water spray that just has more detail, like the background it holds together. Let's see this facial close up. Nice. All right, one other thing I want to try before we end here is I just want to see what happens. I'm going to change. Yeah, we can see this. I'm going to change in the player settings. Let me wait till I get back to the menu. Okay, I'm going to change in here. I do want to change this to prefer Dolby Vision, low latency. Hit OK. Little blip. Okay. Let me go back into settings. Let me look at capabilities. And then we're at the menu. And then I want to play this 4K cinematic Dolby Vision version again. You can see there it's using 18G. Okay, let's refresh. Oh, we still get a DV. We still get a DV to HDR10 dynamic range conversion here. Let me double check what the NV says it's getting. Yeah, transfer function HDR10. If Sammy's still with us, I'm curious if there's any comment that you can make about, like, is there any difference, or is there any way? I haven't researched this enough offhand to know, like, is there any preference or methodology where we want the MadVR getting the Dolby Vision signal, we're able to handle the Dolby Vision signal versus doing a Dolby Vision HDR10 conversion. So that's something I was even talking with the MadVR folks, like, it might be cool to do a stream together with you guys as a follow-up to the Kaleidescape stream, and let's dig into and let's talk about, like, maximizing the MadVR for Kaleidescape, for the Kaleidescape Strato K, for 4K cinematic content, for 8K content, stuff like that. So I may see if I can try to make that happen. So I'm just going to change this back to automatic for now, and that will require a little bit more time. So I'm going to take some final comments, questions. I don't know. Hopefully, maybe after the stream tonight, I can spend some time down here, kind of playing some more, experimenting some more. And then over the course of the next week, for sure, doing a lot more with this. Let me, JVC can output 444. Yeah. JVC, say Sammy, JVC's internal video pipeline is 422, but it will take a 444 signal, convert it to 222 before converting it back to RGB. And again, we're starting with higher quality content in that chain by virtue of doing the 4K cinematic formats. Theodore's, do you have HDMI 2.1 cables? Nope. Or I'm sorry. Is it limiting? And is the limit limiting the image quality? So yes, I have 2.1 cables, and for this, it's not a limit. There would only be having less than 2.1 cables is only a limitation for 8K. All of the 4K cinematic stuff can be carried over like 2.0. Talking about JVC again, we'll accept 444 internally, we'll convert to 422. That's a bummer. So the projector is the problem, is the MadVR not putting 444 on the screen. The MadVR is saying, let me do this one more time. When I play a 4K cinematic movie, when I play a 4K cinematic Dolby Vision movie, let the sync finish here. The MadVR says that it is getting 4K 24, 422 12-bit in HDR, which is HDR10. It's outputting, I'm actually, there's some scaling and stuff going on. It's outputting like a 4096 4K. It's actually outputting 120 because it's doing the motion AI pixel format RGB 12-bit. So it basically, RGB 12-bit is the same as 444. It's full resolution color, and then that's how we have. And actually, Sammy did my calibration and helped with all of the setup. So the JVC says the same thing. It's getting source 2160 at 120 for actual resolution, 4096 by 2020, RGB 12-bit in BT 2020. Jeremy, everything is 2.1. So there's no cabling limits or deficiencies going on here. The infinite cables that I have between the Kaleidescape and the Trinoff are 2.1 rated, certified. Same for the cables from the Trinoff to the MadVR and from the MadVR to the projector. Yeah, right. Envy got the 2.1 doesn't have it. So the 4K cinematic, it technically doesn't require 2.1. Everything, the menu system and the 4K cinematic content works in HDMI 2.2. Or not 2.2, 2.0, sorry. Your theater doesn't have in-share food service. No, I'm gonna go. The family might have already ate. I need to go slam some food down and get ready for the 8 o'clock stream. Need a concession stand. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I have my water, but I brought it myself. Waitress. I won't ask my wife to be my waitress. She's up there cooking. She's up there making dinner alone. Um, I want to go spend some time with them. You know what? Should I try? Yeah, to sit here and go back and forth, it's kind of tough because I can't show anything. I need to just I'll have to just apply the time and take some notes and kind of get a feel for it. And I have a lot more that I need to download as well. I do want to see. Well, while we're still here, it's 7:07, right? Oh, Ready Player One. Let's watch the Ready. I'm going to do the Ready Player One race scene. I watched that a lot of motion and stuff in there. Um, I have this one. What do I have this one in? Yeah. Oh, so I have this one in 4K cinematic, Dolby Vision, and HDR10. I didn't download the other one. So let's go 4K cinematic. It's tough to jump into. I wonder, actually, I should try that. I wonder which copy I'm getting, which version I'm getting if I just play a scene. I don't think I've tried that before with multiple formats downloaded. Okay, so here's Ready Player One. Same thing, media, 4K, 24, YUV, 422, 30-bit, BT 2020, DV profile 5, outputting using 10.2 G bandwidth. So this is why at because of the frame rates and stuff. Even though the chroma is what it is, the frame rate is so low that you don't need the bandwidth. It's only using 10.2 G speed here. HDMI definitely don't need HDMI 2.1. 4K 24 YUV 422 12-bit. I'm gonna jump ahead. Where's the chapter is the race? It was at the very beginning. All right, let me go back. Is it like maybe I have to fast forward? This is kind of a pain actually because I want to see certain scenes, but when you jump back and forth between formats, it's constantly it starts the movie from the beginning because it's basically like a new movie. I have no idea what. Yeah, I have no idea what. I have no idea what chapter the race scene is in. Never actually watched this movie. Only the race scene. I'm gonna try this though. Let me try to see what happens. Theoretically, if I pick a scene, Kaleidescape should play the highest quality format that I have available. That would be the good one. Alright, so first challenge, let's see what we get. Are we getting the 422? Or are we getting the 444? Okay, it is. So and it's DV because the other format. Okay, so that's cool. The scene that it automatically plays the highest format. If you pick a scene, it plays the highest format that you have. So I'm currently watching the 4K cinematic Dolby Vision Ready Player One race scene. She just zoomed forward on the motorcycle. The DeLorean came through. First big crash. Yeah, this holds together very nicely. Should probably look and see what is the. Oh, it doesn't tell me. Bummer. Oh, wait, it's 13 minutes. No, it is. There it is. It's 13 minutes into the movie. Yeah, this looks good. This looks really good. I'd really love to be able to do a side by side. If there was some way to do a side by side, but that's a tall order, a harder thing to try to do. Foxhound, we have to make sure our receiver and projector handle the full chroma, which generally they should, but um, Chris Deering's been talking a lot about this as well on the owners forum, which is like everything everything may touch the chroma. Like don't sweat the chain so much. It's like starting with the higher quality source is a net positive overall. Um, but I would be you have to know like specifically like what is your receiver doing? Does your receiver or preamp, does it have a menu overlay? Is it constantly applying like a chroma downsampling, anything like that? So you kind of have to know your chain to know what's going on. Watch some scenes when mic is on. We can see you fine. Yeah, and I did ask them too. I'm like, it'd be nice if they provided, because conceivably they tested a bunch of movies and they feel they know what looks good or what looks different. I have to make sure maybe I'll ask this as well to Mike. Like what's a movie segment that you think really kind of shows off the format? That'd be good to know. Yeah, that's exactly. It'd be cool if Kaleidescape made a demo script. That would be awesome actually. Make a demo script. Um, or at least publish a list like, hey, look, this is the movies that you want to kind of look at as a great embodiment of what this is all about. Um, yeah, and give you kind of a focus. All right, so I'm gonna yeah 7:12. All right, I'm gonna call it. I really need to rest my voice to talk later, and I really need to um, get some food as well because I can't wait until after. Uh, I can't wait until after the 8 o'clock stream to get some dinner and stuff. Yeah, Kay needs to put out a recommended list of what movies to do an A/B comparison. Yeah, I agree for sure. I need to get a lot more downloads kind of pumping in my system as well, and more kind of variety of content and whatnot. But what I've seen so far, I mean, sharp. It's definitely sharp and clean. We're starting now with the highest quality, objectively the highest quality video source we can have in our home theaters available to us today. That is very exciting. All right, so I will be back in about 45 minutes. We'll have Mike on, we'll ask some questions, dig into some of the technical details of all this stuff some more. I hope this was fun, informative. I figure the end might fall a little bit flat. Is this, we kind of determine figure out how this translates into saying something about it. Um, Most everybody that's kind of writing their impressions have really done more dedicated A/B and spent some time comparing. And I'm live here up for the first time. So, but obviously this will be my new standard, and I'm happy. I'm happy somebody's pushing the envelope on visual fidelity in terms of the content side of things um, for our home theaters, because I think Kaleidescape is the best positioned company and offering to be able to do that. So I think it's very exciting. Hardware looks great. Setup, there you go. Kind of some of the ideas about what are the out of the box experiences, what is some of the setup involved, getting connected to a Terra, some of the things to look for in terms of the settings themselves, and yeah, that's it. So I will be back in 45 minutes. If you're watching this after the fact, hey, you can jump right from this long live directly to the Kaleidescape Q&A, the official podcast. And again, if anybody's shopping these things, looking for them, Kaleidescape, the Ks or any other part of the system, upgrade, whatnot, or other home theater stuff, please feel free to get in touch with me, reach out, etc. Would love to do that. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you very soon. Thanks.